Hi, YouTube.
Hello, YouTube. Brandon, I must say your hair looks fantastic today.
Doesn't it, though?
It's a great shirt.
Isn't
You
it,
look
though?
beautiful.
Don't I, though? It is Unnecessary Roughness. Watch some college football. Watch us talk about college football. Kayce will be back in studio next week. But for now, she's there. We're here. And you're going to like this video. You're going to subscribe to this video. You're going to do everything Jack wants you to do. And I'm not going to allow him to talk. Enjoy. Hi, welcome to Unnecessary Roughness, Barstool's college football podcast, brought to you by the good folks at High Noon Hard Seltzer. I am holding in my hand right now the High Noon Pool Pack, which is a limited edition. It has 8 High Noons in there, including 2 new flavors, guava and kiwi. The Pool Pack has lime, guava, kiwi, and peach. Pretty good. I'm also drinking the kiwi right now, and good drink.
The kiwi's delicious.
Hi, Kayce.
Oh, hello. Hi. I do have an update from the last podcast, Katie and Jack.
I wasn't
and
here.
Also you, Brandon.
Okay.
Well, I know, but I have an update. We are actually making the bathtub photo come to life.
Wow.
Holy shit.
It's been 2 years in the making.
But I actually talked to some people who can make it happen, and we're gonna make it a whole big thing. I don't know exactly what video is gonna come out of it, but we're gonna have a video too. It's actually, well, I can't say it's in the works because nothing at Barstool is in the works till it's actually happening, but it has been moved up the ladder.
Not bad.
I love to hear that. That's going to be awesome. Probably sometime before football season, hopefully.
Oh yeah. Brandon, did you hear what Jack's idea was?
Is this just the peach high noon bath that we've
Oh,
been
no,
talking
he
about
had a
for
better
years?
idea.
Okay, what is it?
Well, that's what I always envisioned it as. I guess I just didn't say it well enough or say my point clear enough that I wanted the cans to cover your cans.
Yes.
Now it's up to High Noon to
Is she
approve
gonna
all this.
Is she gonna get in the bathtub with a bunch of cans, or
She's
Yep.
going to trump your calendar photo.
Yeah.
that's not gonna be comfortable with all them cans though?
Yeah, like you got, are they going to do all cans or all high noon or a little bit of both?
Katie, you're gonna have to place them around me.
Okay.
That's gonna be your job.
Works
Damn.
for me.
So you're gonna have to handle the cans.
I thought that was going to be my job. That was my big plan.
The long con.
Brandon,
Long
we
con,
said
yeah.
last week that we know how we can make some money for Unnecessary Roughness though after the fact. We're gonna then pour the high noon into the bathtub and then sell it.
Sell the whole bathtub.
No, sell her bath water.
Oh,
But it's peach
Nice.
8
water.
ounces.
okay, fair enough. See,
Maybe
it sounds like,
maybe Brandon should get in one too. I bet people would buy his bath water.
sounds like y'all have got it figured out.
I think it's going to be glorious. Yeah, glorious.
All right, so it is the college football podcast, and we're talking college football, which is increasingly difficult as we get into the throes of April and spring games are wrapping up. Yeah, I got to take real quick, mini take
Give me
before
it.
I get to everything else.
Hit us.
Spring games don't matter as much as they mattered 10, 15 years ago.
You think so?
I don't think they matter as much anymore.
Well,
they
they
don't
don't
seem
really
like they
even-
have the pop anymore.
They
They
really don't
matter
even
to Nick
play
Saban.
the same. They do little like they'll have different scoring. The game will end like 7-2 or something.
Yeah,
It
I
won't be as
was
safe.
I was at Mississippi State for the spring game. It rained. They said, "No, we're moving it indoors. Not going to have it." Okay, it wasn't even a big deal. Wasn't even a big deal.
I think it's because of social media, because like you see everything that's going on with the program all the time now. So it's like spring game was like your first real look at the team after bowl season, and now it's like whatever, we can see every single thing on the internet.
Yeah. Just feels like spring football is an afterthought, and also in the world where we have multiple waves of the transfer portal, we have the wave after the season, we have the wave like halfway through the spring, and then the post-spring wave. Like even the team you watch in the spring might not be your team. So what's really the point?
Do you see how Nick Saban cares about spring games?
I don't give a shit about Nick Saban because Nick Saban is going to
Yes,
be.
you do.
No, I don't. He's going to be featured. I'm tired of Nick Saban. Because Nick Saban's full of shit. And everything he says, he'll come out and he'll say, this transfer portal is really changing the way we do college football. No, motherfucker, you guys like you are the reason college football changed because you were paying so much money before. Everybody else had to start paying legal money, so just keep up with your. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Brandon, can I ask you a question before we really dive in?
What?
Are you having a bad day?
No, I think he's just a little tired,
Just a little tired.
which
I
is
can just
fine.
sense some spice. I can see it in your face.
No, he
I can
turns it
hear
on.
your
He
voice.
turned it on. Once we press record, he was on.
I'm
I
As
just wanted
always.
to check in and make sure,
I'm good. I'm a little tired. I've been sick for a
I'm a
couple
little
weeks.
tired too.
It's the
I just want to make sure
B90X
we're good.
lifestyle.
Speaking of Nick Saban being full of shit, I am unveiling the full of shit list on this show.
So I did want to, because
5 coaches who are the most full of shit coaches in the country.
I did want to, because last week you were in Mississippi and you were with Mike Leach, and I would love to hear if you had any behind the scenes stories for the listeners. But by the way, great interview.
Fantastic.
I did want to ask you about the 2 comments. You touched on Nick Saban's and then Dabo's comment about college football is going to have to be blown up at some
Right.
point.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Dabo, spoiler alert, Dabo's on the list too.
Okay.
These coaches at the very top of the sport know exactly how to massage the system, know exactly how to use the transfer portal, know exactly how to use NIL. They have the biggest NIL advantages. They pay the most NIL money. They're making sure they pay the most NIL money so they can get the best players. They know how to play the system, and they're complaining about the system not because they really have concerns, just because image-wise, that's what looks good for them. They're full of shit. They're full of fucking shit.
Okay.
We talked about this last week, Brandon. It's because it's like they're airing out their own dirty laundry. It's like, oh, we got caught doing this, and now we have to complain about it. The only thing I will say, and I don't know if you agree with this or not, I did agree with Nick Saban's comment about how it's basically the NFL model without the contracts, because that is what's happening. But they've been doing it all along. They just weren't doing it out in public.
And Nick Saban, did you see the video where a losing player of the spring game was trying to get a piece of cake from and Nick Saban shut it down? He knows the cameras are on at all times. He's so full of shit.
No.
He's so full of
They've
shit.
done that forever.
He's so full of shit.
The winning team gets steak. The losing team gets beans and hot dogs, which
Listen,
isn't
he
that bad
knows
of
what
it.
he's
Not
doing.
that bad.
It ain't that bad.
Not that bad.
I like these.
Before we go any further, I did interview Mike Leach last week.
Yeah, it was great.
I sat down with him. I never met him, and I sat in his office, and I met with him. We talked about really when he got there. We went right to the interview. We just pressed record and went right into it. But after we got done, we sat there another hour just chilling, kicking the shit. Just talking. Talking
great.
football, talking all that kind of stuff.
So you have a new friend.
I have a texting relationship with Mike Leach now. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
What does he? Is blue text messages or green?
I don't
That's
know.
a good question,
How do
Jack.
you not know?
Because he doesn't care about that.
I don't
He's
care about
not-
that at all. Yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna guess
oh,
that
here's
it's
the
blue.
real question, Brandon.
Blue.
It's
Yeah.
blue. I think if you're a college football coach, you cannot have green text.
No.
No, you
It would
definitely
hurt
cannot.
you. It would hurt you.
Yeah, no, like recruits would make fun of you. Brandon, here's the real question. This is when you know if it's real or not for you. Did you save his name?
He did. I think I saw something that wasn't a number at the top of it.
If you guys will just look.
Says my best friend. No, it just says Mike Leach.
Yep. Mike Leach.
What is mine still?
Podcast co-host.
Okay, good. I didn't know. I don't ever want that to change.
And then hers is Instagram intern.
Yep.
I think because there were so many Jacks, I'm actually Jack.
You're Jack Mack.
Yeah, and then what's
Wow.
Jack McCarthy?
Adam
Because that would
Apple?
get confusing for you because
I
you
know.
do have to talk with him a bunch.
Yeah. You were Jack Mack. He's Jack McCarthy.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Are
I'm
you
surprised-
saving numbers now?
I got to a point where I just had to. Like I got like
Welcome to everyone else
I went
forever.
to WrestleMania and got like a lot of numbers. Like Cody Rhodes messaged me on my birthday, and I was like, it's Cody Rhodes. So, I still have some funny names in there. Like I got Mush, and then I got Marty Part 2, which is Jerry. I have one of the movie guys. That's Ken Jack. Other movie guys, Jeff D. Lowe. Yeah, I still don't have
What's Dan?
Yak Host,
Dave?
Portnoy,
Okay.
And then
well, that would check out.
Tommy Smokes is Dave's charity case.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. There
I
you go.
love it.
So I got Mike Leach in there now, so I can text him whenever we need to. And
What-
I'm
what's
working
Ben
on.
Mintz?
I'm working. Huh?
What's Ben Mintz?
Not in my phone. I'm working on.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, you got to actually do things to be in my phone. I'm working on getting other one-on-one interviews with coaches. I
am too.
Yeah. Are you good? I got a Big 10 coach on the line and a Big 12 coach on the line that I'm getting close to.
I have an SEC coach on the line.
No. I tried. Lane, can I just say this out loud?
Yeah, you told us this.
Lane Kiffin's a big fat pussy.
He was afraid to do it with you?
I wasn't talking about about Lane.
Lane Kiffin's a big. I reached out to Ole Miss, and I don't even think it's Lane. I think Lane would do it. I think Lane has a sense of humor about himself,
yeah.
and I think he would do it. And I even told him I would let him make me look. I'd let him win.
Yeah.
And Ole Miss just won't let me in the building. They're a bunch of big fat pussies.
Well, do you think they'd let me in the building?
Yeah, but they're still big fat pussies.
No, it would be great.
Here's my thought process, Brandon. We tell them that it's me coming, right? We say, okay, Kayce Smith is coming, and then you happen to be there as my you just happen to be there with me as my chaperone, and then you can enjoy the interview as well.
Well, now you're making me look like some sort of tag along.
No,
Well, we know what's happening.
This is a stealth mission. It's not a tag along. It's saying, oh, Kayce Smith from Unnecessary Roughness is coming to interview.
Yeah, they'll never see that coming. If I just showed up, I'm just with you. And they're like, Shazam! Who is that?
I'll be like,
Never
he's
saw
my
that.
chaperone. I don't go anywhere without him.
Um,
There's no way Lane Kiffin said no to that. Like Lane Kiffin would probably.
It
love
probably
that.
never got to Lane. It probably never
No.
got. Because I emailed Ole Miss and never got an answer. Then I had Ben Mintz email, and I don't think he got an answer, which I don't think he really matters to them the way he pretends to. But
He probably has the
You
common
are
email.
just firing all cylinders. Wait, you know what? I have an idea. Let me try something.
Well, yeah, you could text Lane. What? That's what you. Wait, you had your phone up in your hand on camera. It's not like I was saying a secret.
How do you know I was texting him?
I don't
could be
know.
texting somebody else at Ole Miss.
Everything you just did suggested that's what you were doing. I wasn't.
Yeah,
That is not. You're projecting.
No.
What? That was the most.
You took your phone out like, I'll tell you what I'll do. And you took your phone out like this, started texting. I'm like, are you texting him?
That was so believable. What? You lost your fastball if you don't think that's believable.
I know it's believable. I didn't need Brandon to air my shit out.
Well, no, Gee. Okay. High noon, hard seltzer, delicious.
But I'm working on on some interviews as well, Brandon.
Yeah, we're about 2 years past needing to do interviews anyway.
Yeah, but we never really wanted to do them.
I didn't because I won't talk shit about coaches.
Yeah, and
Well-
it seemed like a decision that you didn't want to do them, so I always thought we didn't want to do them.
Yeah.
Well, and we also
happened.
kind of were told, we were also kind of told that we don't need to do them. My question to you, Brandon, is like, what happens next season when you fire Mike Leach during the game like you did so many times last season?
What?
What happens now? Because
she
if
talking
you're
about?
best friends.
No, that's
is
not.
that?
I think that's a fake Brandon Walker account you've been following.
No.
That was B. Walker SEC.
That was B. Walker. That's a different guy. That was a different guy.
I'm just saying, like, I know, allegedly there were some tweets during
Kayce,
games last year.
if
The
you'll-
Mississippi
if-
State might have even ended up winning at the end of the
If
game.
you pull up Twitter right now, you'll see I'm at BFW.
I do notice that. Yes, I noticed, and I text Katie and I said, "When the fuck did that happen?" I just was curious now if for some reason Mississippi State doesn't have a great season next year, or he might make some buffoonish coaching decisions. Let's just say hypothetically, where the best friendship is.
Hey, look what happened with Joe Moorhead. You're still best friends with him.
Still best friends.
And Joe Moorhead had a tough go at Mississippi State, but
Yep.
they stayed friends.
But Brandon didn't offer Joe Moorhead an internship at Barstool.
He didn't ask.
He did. He could. Joe Moorhead could get one. He would help us.
Yeah. Joe Moorhead can work here tomorrow.
I'm just hypothetically asking. I know that when you're best friends with somebody, it's hard to talk shit. So I was just curious.
Joe Moorhead's at Akron. He could be over here in a zip.
Yep, in a zip.
Ha ha.
That's the
My God.
Akron zip jokes, folks. That's the only place you get
That's
that.
where
is
you
here.
get it right here. Right
Unnecessary
here.
roughness.
They play in the Rubber Bowl or the Glass Bowl?
I think
They're the Rubber Bowl?
Rubber Bowl.
And Toledo's the Glass Bowl?
Because yes, where's Goodyear? Where's Goodyear out of? I think
I don't know.
Akron, because that's why they call it the Rubber Bowl.
Yeah, that might make
Because
sense.
that's where
yeah.
their factory.
I ever
least
tell you the
originally-
greatest NCAA football dynasty I ever had was with Akron?
Yeah, which
Yes.
we don't have to say that name too much.
What? What name?
Akron.
Okay. Oh, that's true. I got there.
Just a kid from Akron.
I had been in Hawaii and been at UCLA. And
You've been all over.
I'd been all over, but I was about 5 years in the dynasty. I said, you know what? I want to build something up. So I went to Akron, 1-star, and I got a 5-star Cole Van out of Biloxi, Mississippi, an athlete to be my quarterback. And I got Jerome Hagan, a 6'4", 287-pound running back. And it was just a beautiful. In 5 years, I was in the Big Ten.
Beautiful.
winning national titles.
That was
basically replaced Ohio State.
That was the great. Yeah. You know what? There's levels to this. That's the greatest part about the NCAA football franchise model was that you could, if you did well enough, you could actually get into a conference.
You could jump conferences. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could do some things.
I wish I loved anything as much as you love talking about your NCAA dynasties.
I just wish I could.
It's
still.
not this summer, right? It's next summer.
It's next summer, but
That's so long.
so long. Is it like? And is it going to be on PS5 only or Xbox One only?
know.
Like I don't have.
Who
a
knows
PS5.
what's going to exist
Wait.
in the year?
What?
Didn't we decide that you were going to teach me how to play as a YouTube series?
Yeah, maybe I don't know.
We'll get
Probably
there.
we'll do it. We have it on PS3 right now.
How about you know what? We're just getting to coach interviews. Let's
Let's pump the brakes here.
pump the brakes. Yeah, a YouTube.
Well, we were just talking about how there's not a lot of shit to talk about because it's the end of April.
I
and
have a
it's
lot
called-
of shit to talk about. Are y'all ready to talk about it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Here's a hypothetical. It's a game that we're all going to play.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to give you a pair of teams. I'm going to give you
Okay.
2 teams, and you tell me who you'd rather be for the next 5 years.
Ooh.
God.
For the next 5 years, who would you rather be? Over the next 5 years, would you guys rather be the Oklahoma Sooners or the USC Trojans?
USC.
USC.
Because they have a better coach?
Actually, you know, I
I'll
think
say
there's
why
an
I-
argument.
You got to think. Oklahoma's moving to the SEC.
That's why. There it is right there. That's the key. Is that the Pac-12 as of right now is wide open. Yes, I know like Utah and Oregon, like whatever, fine. The Pac-12 is wide open. The SEC is not.
I think
And
it's
moving to the SEC and being a brand new team is tough enough as it is.
it's better to.
I mean, if Lincoln Riley can get USC right, they'll for the next 5 years they could be the top of the Big 12 easily.
it's
Pac-12. But
if
Pac-12.
I think it's better to
Know what
be
I
a
meant,
loser
Brandon.
in the
I was just helping.
I think it's better to be a loser in the Pac-12 or a loser in the SEC than a winner in the Pac-12.
Not a loser, though.
Well, define loser.
It
It
might,
Vanderbilt.
it might be better to be like this, the 4th best SEC team as opposed to the Pac-12 perennial champ,
I even
right?
think sixth.
Like,
I
compare it to
completely
Kentucky.
disagree with that. If
I-
you're the top of the Pac-12,
If you're
you can
annually
make the
the
playoff.
top of the Pac-12, I think correct. Can he get them to the top of the Pac-12? That's your question.
You're in the SEC though. It's the pinnacle, and the future
but
is always
if you're
brighter
the-
there.
if you're the 6th team in the SEC, you're not in conversation for the playoff. If you're the top team in the Pac-12, you're in conversation for the playoff.
I think if he's able to get them to like 2004 levels, then they become part of the pinnacle too. I don't know if he can do that. You got to decide in your mind if he can do that. I don't know if he can coach defense to the level because he never got the defense right at Oklahoma. And if he couldn't get the defense right at Oklahoma, why is he going to magically do it at USC? He might be a guy that gets them in the playoff conversation and loses 63-15 every time he gets there. I don't know, but it's worth.
I feel like we're discrediting how, like, if you are really good in the Pac-12, the Pac-12 has just been a little bit of garbage recently, and I know Pac-12.
Okay,
fans
but
hate
no.
hearing that.
I think you're right on the surface, but deeper than that, you have to analyze this and say, do I think he's going to be on the top of the Pac-12 every year? Because he might not.
I do agree. I agree with that, but I also then look at the fact that Oklahoma right now in the Big 12 is different than Oklahoma being in the SEC right away.
Okay.
I mean, A&M and Missouri did it, 10, 11 years ago, and it wasn't like an easy transition for the most part, other than having Johnny Manziel. But like, you're going in to play Alabama every year versus if you want to get USC on the right track. I think that that's the bigger thing. If Oklahoma was saying in the Big 12, that would be a different conversation.
So everybody says USC?
I said Oklahoma.
I'll say USC.
You said USC at first.
He did.
You
But
did.
You've
But
changed your
then I
mind?
changed my mind.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. I lean one of those directions as well. Okay.
well,
Oh,
which one?
Huh?
Which one?
Which one?
Exactly.
What?
Brandon.
Who's on first?
What? All right.
Who?
Yes.
You.
We'll put it.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. We're all on the same page?
3 of us are.
He's
You're
on
not.
third.
All right. Over the next 5
I was
years,
born there.
would you rather be Alabama or Georgia?
Alabama.
Alabama.
You better think about
Georgia.
this. You better think about this because
You're on the precipice of a.
Actually, no, Georgia, because Nick Saban. Sorry.
there's no guarantee Nick Saban's coaching Alabama in 5 years. Now,
Yep.
he could be. Kirby Smart's kind of building his own Alabama.
I'm not ready to say Kirby Smart is building his own Alabama because they won one national title.
They've been up there.
No, but here's the way.
Listen. He got over the hump, and the hump that we talked about forever was beating Nick Saban and blah blah blah. All of that. They did that. Nick Saban has won 1 billion championships. Kirby Smart has won 1. And I'm not ready to say that Georgia's a better program than Alabama right away because of that.
The question, though, is how do you become Alabama? You get the
win
best.
A lot of titles.
No, that's not it at all. You get the best players, then you win a lot of titles, right?
Yes.
You get the best players, then you win the titles. Kirby has gotten the best players part. He's figured out how to get the best players. He is annually getting the best players, so that's half the battle.
But
I would probably lean Alabama too because Nick Saban is more bankable. But if I only get 3 years out of Saban and 5 years out of Smart, the answer might be Georgia.
Now, here's my devil's advocate for you. And you can tell me to fuck off if you want, but here's my devil's advocate. We talk a lot about recruiting and getting the best players. A lot of schools get the best players, but don't have the best coach in order to make that happen on the field. So like you look at whatever you want to throw out, whatever school is always in the top 5, Tennessee, top 5, top 10 recruiting. They don't have a coach that then has it transferred to the field. Nick Saban can do that. But we've seen Kirby Smart do it one time.
I think you've seen him do it twice. I mean, he got to overtime in the national title game in 2017.
Okay, fair. But
Saban is the greatest coach of all time, and Saban is the most proven coach. But I think Kirby Smart is right there with development, with recruiting. I think it is natural for somebody to look at Alabama versus anybody and say Alabama. But boy, over the next 5 years, Georgia could be Alabama.
Can I bring up I think earlier in the season, maybe this year, last year, you talked about Kirby's recruiting, how he got all the nicest cars,
right?
But then didn't have room for them in the garage. What's changed from then until now?
He won the national title. He won. He got it
like
all right. Like
even coming into this year, people are talking about that.
But that's like this isn't you saying it. This has been the conversation forever about Kirby Smart, and it's ridiculous. He is a good coach, a great coach. He's not Nick Saban, but nobody is, and he's a top 5 coach without a doubt. And he develops these players. The program develops the players. Georgia has gotten right there. Yeah, he couldn't get over the hump, but he got over the hump now.
Not a governor in a golf cart.
And I completely agree with that, but I still wouldn't put them above Alabama.
That's fair.
That's fair. Yeah.
Like if we're saying that Nick Saban is not going to be there all 5 years, he's 70 years old, so he would be 75. I get that, but yeah, Georgia did everything right and they got over the hump. He's still not Nick Saban. That still doesn't surpass Nick Saban in my head.
Okay, over the next 5 years, would you rather be the Texas A&M Fighting Aggies?
Well,
or the Bayou Bengals of LSU?
Oh, wow.
First of all, can you please say it right? At least if you're going to – I know what you're about to do, but can you at least say the name right?
What did I say? Is it not the Fighting Aggies?
No, it's the Fighting Texas Aggies.
Sorry. The Fighting Texas Aggies of A&M or the Tigers of LSU?
I'm going to excuse myself from this argument because we all know what I'm going to say and it's just going to piss people off.
Well, listen, there is a reason you could say that. I mean, they did just sign the #1 recruiting class in the country. That happened. Jimbo.
I want you to say it. I want you to say it because the fucking losers, when I say it, they're like, oh,
okay, well, here's your reasoning.
Here's
your reasoning for both teams. On one side, Kirby Smart has won a national title before. He is a national championship winning coach. He's proven he can. Who did I say? Kirby Smart?
Kirby.
Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo Fisher has won a national title before. He has proven he can win a national title. He subscribes to the same theory of Saban and Kirby Smart. Go get the best players. He just did that. So over the next 3 or 4 years, they got one of the best recruiting classes, or they have a #1 class on campus. They'll have to follow it up, but they got one. On the LSU side, they got a new coach who succeeded at a very high level somewhere else. And now he gets the keys to a faster car. And that car has won national titles with the last 3 head coaches they've had. And that's 2 of them suck. Les Miles and Ed Orgeron both won national titles at LSU. Saban won a national title at LSU. He's obviously great. But 3 straight coaches have won one. Now over the next 5 years, Brian Kelly is the next coach. Does he win one? I think this is a very even matchup, LSU or A&M. I would lean LSU.
Me too. I mean, it's possibly the best program in the country in terms of just recruiting.
By itself.
Yeah.
The program itself, not including a coach.
Yes.
Right. I agree.
That's why not including a coach. But then again,
Jack could show up tomorrow at LSU and recruit a top 5 class for next year.
But then again, Texas A&M, I mean, you just laid out a perfect – it's a close argument.
Here's a question, and I'm not gonna try to sway your answer because that's your answer. But I would say that A&M NIL money plays a huge factor in that too.
I don't think, first of all, A&M absolutely can get a lot of NIL money, can generate a lot of NIL money. Probably
that oil money, baby.
Probably some of the most in the country. LSU ain't hurting for NIL money either. They'll steal
Well, no,
it
but they
from
steal from
cancer
hospitals.
kids if they want to. So
Yeah, they steal from hospitals. That's the difference.
But they'll get the money. So
like A&M and University of Texas and everybody in the state of Texas is oil money. LSU stealing money from the hospital. I'm just saying.
That's a really good point from Kayce that may have swayed me a little bit. The arms race is a lot different now, and LSU may have been much better at it by like
cheating,
being dirty, having dirty money, and we're seeing they even got sanctioned.
Yes.
So we'll see what the football sanctions are, and that could take away 5 scholarships a year, which is a lot. That all this being said, A&M may be one of the top programs with how much money their boosters have in these NIL collectives. That's going to really matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not really saying anything earth-shattering, but I kind of agree with Kayce now.
Yeah, I think Texas A&M is a safer bet. You kind of know what's coming, whereas LSU.
Okay. I know why you just said that. Why you said it's a safer bet because they got more money.
No.
But okay.
No, because
why do you say it's a safer bet? Why is A&M a safer bet?
Because at LSU, they have sanctions coming. We don't know what their program's going to look like in 3 years.
But by that token, and
I think it's going to be more basketball.
I feel the NCAA is pretty toothless. They're not really going to hurt them that much.
Yeah, look what they did to Arizona.
And by that token, I think LSU is the very safest bet of a program in the country. Yeah. Again, they won 2 national titles over the last 10 years with 2 shitty coaches.
Yeah, they won a national title with Coach O.
Ed Orgeron won a national title.
No. Joe Burrow won a national
title. No. Ed Orgeron was the coach.
But that's what we're saying.
Joe Brady, yeah.
But that's assuming that Brian Kelly's going to go find the next Joe Burrow.
They always find the next something. They always have great players.
If Coach O found Joe Burrow.
I would like it on record that, and I know, Brandon, everybody knows, as soon as I say anything good about A&M, all the fucking losers come out of. I am saying this as a completely unbiased person now. I'm not unbiased all the time, but right now I'm going to be. LSU obviously is a fantastic program. And like Jack said, one of the top programs in the country when you talk about, getting everybody from Louisiana and the everything around LSU. A&M right now has a national title winning coach. Yeah, fuck off everybody who says it. Like, I understand he wanted Florida State with Jameis. I get that. But then also the #1 recruiting class and all the facilities and the NIL money that anybody could possibly want with Brian Kelly, who's never won a national title. And I understand he had Notre Dame up high, but now he's going to LSU and faking a Southern accent. I don't have as much faith in that as I do with Jimbo, who's already been at A&M now for 4 years.
All right, fair enough. We have 4 more of these.
Brandon.
Hi.
Hello. You know what it's time to talk about again?
Oh,
because
no.
It never goes away.
Student debt?
It never goes away.
Yes.
Student debt.
Student debt.
Student debt.
Student debt. I have many children.
You do have a lot of children.
Many, 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 many children. And at one day, at least 25% of them will probably go to college. And I dread student debt.
1 of 4 of the Walker children are projected to go to college.
Yeah.
Okay, that works. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Your daughter.
What? That's what you said.
Yeah, no. 25.
He was doing the math.
Yeah, he's doing math.
One of 4 is 25%. Sure. Yeah. Yes. Definitely. Yeah. She's going to college, and I abhor the idea of student debt. Student debt. Student debt is also bad.
Yeah, we don't like that.
Student debt is terrible, and I don't want it. But Ernest can help me with it.
Ernest can help you with debt and hopefully death too. I don't know where that came from you, Freudian slip.
A Floridian slip, yes.
Yes. So as we've said a million times, we love Ernest on this podcast. It has some of the lowest rates, flexible payments, and an in-house team ready to help. You don't have to go to the bank. You can talk to him right online. Like, you can talk to a real live human right from your home.
A real live human.
A real live human, Brandon. Real live, not dead human. You have no late fees. That's great. Late fees absolutely stink. So Ernest has no late fees. They can get you a lower month payment. They can change your interest rate. The best part is with Ernest, it only takes 2 minutes, Brandon, a whole 2 minutes to see what your new rate can be. And there's no credit impact. And as always, we love Ernest even more for this. They're giving away free money.
Free money.
Free money.
Free.
Ernest is offering our listeners $100, Brandon, cash bonus, 100. If you refinance your student debt at earnest.com/barstool, it is not available in all states, but you can go online and check very quickly. Once again, $100 cash bonus when you visit earnest.com/barstool to refinance your student loan. I can never remember when we're on Zoom. Do I not whisper or do I whisper?
No, do it. Do the whisper.
Do it. Okay. All right. I'll get really close to the computer. Visit earnest.com/barstool for more details. Not available in all states. Terms and conditions apply. Earnest student loan refinancing made by Earnest Operations LLC. NMLS 1204917. California Financing Law License 6054788 at 535 Mission Street in San Francisco, California 94105. Visit earnest.com/licenses for fullest licenses.
Yay. Over the next 5 years, would you rather be the Notre Dame Fighting Irish or the Texas?
Oh, this is so easy.
The
This
Texas
is the
Longhorns.
easiest answer either.
Texas Longhorns.
Texas.
The Notre Dame Fighting Irish or the Texas Longhorns?
Texas.
Texas.
Why is it? Hold on. Why is that so easy?
Money alone.
Well, just Texas.
I mean, Notre Dame ain't
Texas,
poor.
like Kayce said earlier. No, Texas is the
Texas.
year in year
Who's
out.
closer to winning a national championship?
Notre Dame.
Texas.
I think it's Texas, but
I think Texas is going to be back this year.
I know.
but Notre Dame's been in the playoff 2 out of the last 3 years.
That is true.
Texas is probably the program that can catch up the fastest.
Right, but
I mean,
everything
Brian,
you say is great about Texas as a program also pretty much exists at Notre Dame. Like, this is a giant
Notre
program.
Dame made it to the playoff with Brian Kelly, though. Brian Kelly's gone, and I'm not saying that means Notre Dame's going to stink. By the way, both of these teams you can make arguments for. If I'm saying Texas, that's where I'm like.
I'm just shocked.
Texas is not back, but the next 5 years.
I'm just
now,
shocked.
we do have the SEC argument.
All of you said it was so easy. I mean, I don't know if Steve Sarkisian's a good enough coach to win big at Texas. I don't know if Marcus Freeman's a good enough coach to win big at Notre Dame. I know that he's recruiting at a very high. They're both recruiting at a very high level. Notre Dame's been a much better program in the last 5 and 10 years.
Yeah.
Why is it going to change so drastically so fast?
Yeah, I like your pushback on me. Pause.
I don't think that it's super easy. However, I do think that the knee-jerk reaction to say Texas is not a crazy thing.
I not to make this an argument, but I kind of do think it's crazy. Like, Texas has proven they can take every advantage in the world and make it not matter at all. And I still think they're about to come out of it. I really do. But Notre Dame has been steady Eddie, man. And I know Brian Kelly left, but they've been steady. And they hired
Texas is going to the best conference in the country.
Well, that was a negative for Oklahoma just
That's what I was about to
3
say.
ago.
Not to me.
I will say that is hypocritical on my part because I said the same thing about Oklahoma, but I wasn't talking about a team. Like, I mean, again, I know, Brandon, you don't think it matters that Notre Dame is independent. I do. I think that does come down to it at the end. And if they're not winning like they were under Brian Kelly, they could easily fall to the wayside. Whereas if Texas is at the top of the Big 12 and then is competing in the SEC, I'd rather be Texas for the next 5 years.
Okay. Over the next 5 years, would you rather be the Miami Hurricanes or the Florida State Seminoles?
Jeez. This is going to get
That
some
one's
people
tough.
going.
I know, right? These are good.
These are
I
good.
hope Florida State fans get really pissed off right now.
Well, Florida State fans had a tough week.
I'm going to add a third. It's going to be a rare third.
Are you putting what?
A
Florida?
threesome per se.
The Florida Gators.
Who would you rather be?
Who would you rather be over the next 5 years? The Florida State Seminoles, the Miami Hurricanes, or the Florida Gators?
I think it's Miami.
I think it's Miami
I
as
think
well.
it's Miami.
Because I think it's
Miami.
just. I think you see it. Like Cristobal, I mean, there was the connection there, but he left a great job, and we say it all the time, a top program to go to Miami, and there's something about Miami, and that something is it's amazing location. The girls are so hot. There's
hot.
money. There's so much money in the school and from the boosters as a whole. And
To be
it's
fair, Jack, there's pretty hot girls at Florida State and Florida too.
that is
The whole
true.
state.
But that is true. But Miami is just something. It's cool to go to Miami, and it will always be cool to go to Miami, at least for the next 5 years, for sure. At least in my opinion.
If you look at Miami and Texas, what do you think can fill a stand the quickest? I feel like those are two fan bases. Like I said earlier, for Texas, like the fastest team to like catch up and be back. Like I have like Miami kind of fits that category.
Miami can
too.
always be back within 3 years. They
Yeah.
can always be back. But this one's interesting because it's 3 programs that are almost starting from zero. Like, there's nothing really to hang your hat on any of these right now. I think I would pick Florida third. I think they hired a bad coach. I think they made a mistake
I
in
do
firing Dan
think-
Mullen.
Cristobal's starting at first base, in my opinion. They don't have that bad of a roster.
No, starting from zero is too much. But
Okay.
but none of them are at third like LSU with Brian Kelly.
Oh, 100%.
So
100%
so
agree.
I would go Miami, Florida State, then Florida.
Okay.
That would be my list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
I think I would put Florida second, but I think I overvalue Florida. I always have.
Over the next 5 years, would you rather be the Michigan State Spartans and their $95 million coach Mel Tucker or the Michigan Wolverines?
Michigan, I don't even think about it.
Michigan. Don't even think about it.
All right, here's why y'all ought to think about it.
Tell me.
Harbaugh was great. They went to the playoff, and they were great. And we finally saw a Michigan team break through for the first time. But have y'all really paid attention to how much talent's leaving that place? You've got Ojabo, you've got Aiden Hutchinson, you've got they got the quarterback back. They're going to have to replace the running back duo. Like there's a lot going. They're going to replace Haskins anyway. They've got a lot of pieces they're missing. They lost their offensive coordinator because of Harbaugh's ego. Interviewing for the NFL. I'm not sure they're at a place where they've snapped back into place and they're gonna roll through the Big Ten anymore. I think it might have been a one-shot deal for them.
But at least they have a one-shot deal.
Well, Michigan
Michigan
State was right
State
there with them. Now Michigan won the Big Ten. They both ended up like 11-2, so they were right there together. They ended up.
They've both made the playoff once and both got blown out.
One ended.
Michigan State made the playoff like 6 years. How many years ago was that at this
Yeah,
point?
but he's not using that as an example of why they'd be for good for the next 5 years. What I'm saying is, Michigan just had a huge year. I don't think it's repeatable. Michigan State just had a huge year. I don't think that's repeatable either. So who do you trust more, Harbaugh or Tucker?
I think that if you're not going to really trust either year, then you can throw that out the window. I would still take the team that went further. Like Michigan State, if you don't think it's repeatable for Michigan State and you don't think it's repeatable for Michigan, then they're starting at an even playing field. Then I would say Michigan because they made it further.
Michigan State got another transfer running back to replace Kenneth Walker. They got Jalen Berger from Wisconsin.
Okay.
The guy that
Not the 18-year-old.
no, not the who
Breland.
was 17 at
Breland.
the time.
Oh, excuse me.
I have one more, but I don't really like it.
Oh,
Let's
Yeah.
hear it.
I might not just. It's just the two really white teams in the Big Ten West. Would you rather be Iowa or Wisconsin?
Wisconsin.
I knew you'd say that. You're a big Wisconsin stan. They're the same team, right? They're the same
Yeah.
program. Or even over the next 5 years. We're going to look. One of them's going to go 11-1 one year and win the Big Ten West and lose the Big Ten championship game. The other one might do that too. They're the exact same program.
There's the
Brandon,
Yes.
you better be careful talking about Iowa being white. You might have people come after you.
I think they had another coach added to their racism lawsuit today.
Really?
So
Oh,
anytime
no.
they want to come after me for the racism stuff, come on, Iowa. Also, you realize, and nothing's set in stone, we're probably going to Iowa this year.
Yes, I know.
It's a sports book state.
I've already thought about that. I actually had a conversation with Blattman about that. And I was like, I think that on top of our normal security that we have, that you might have to have your own personal security guard because I think you might get murdered.
I'm going mega heel.
We should really go Iowa State. I think
I'm
we
going
do that
mega
best.
heel. I'm going big time.
Do the double bird. Like
Oh,
they-
I mean, if you didn't, it would be ridiculous. You
Yeah.
have to do it. You got to do the wind up double birds like Katie just said that Dave did at Michigan State. I'm honestly worried about your safety there, Brandon. I mean, I'm not.
Well, I think Iowa fans can handle themselves. I mean, it's not like going to Oxford. If we go to Oxford, then I'm legitimately going to try to start fights.
Will you try to start fights from the stage?
Oh, yeah.
or-
Yeah, I've already got my lines worked out. I already know what I'm
Well,
going to say.
see, here's the thing. That's kind of a pussy move because if you're on the stage starting fights, you know nothing can happen.
That's
It's kind of like
punching
when
down.
Drake is sitting on the sidelines at NBA games and he tries to talk
What do
shit.
you want me
knows
to do? Just
Hop in the
show up
crowd.
on a Tuesday?
Hop in the
Go
crowd.
in, no, go on the crowd, go in the crowd and start
no,
fights.
he's a father.
Father of 4.
So is Big Cat, and he's
When did he fight?
Is he going in the crowd?
oh, was it not?
When's he
No,
going in the
but he
crowd?
didn't
He's
say
drinking.
He also didn't say he was gonna be in a fight.
Yeah.
If you're gonna start fights with Mississippi State or with Ole Miss fans,
What are they going to do? Throw their fucking bow ties at me?
They may choke you
I
out
don't
with
know.
them.
Where were we when you threw the helmet and you got in trouble?
Tennessee.
Yeah, can't be doing that.
Yeah. Threw the helmet, cracked it, and then I threw both pieces into the crowd. Apparently
You got scolded.
Yeah, I did by Dave. Apparently you can't throw projectiles into crowds.
Which, by the way, I mean, I get why we
What did you
can't
say
do
in
that.
the lawsuit?
It didn't hit anybody, but it could have been bad.
It is kind of bullshit, though, because they throw full cans of beer at us.
They threw golf balls at Lane Kiffin that night.
Welcome to the
I mean,
world.
Dave got
Double
hit in the
standards.
chest with a full can of beer, and nobody said anything.
All right, so those are my hypotheticals right there. I think that was a good exercise.
I like that.
Fun exercise. Big Game Boomer had one this week, which I again, I do not advocate for following Big Game Boomer. I think he's a fucking idiot.
It's over. You told it like 2 episodes
And
ago.
today he tweeted out like Mississippi State and Ole Miss are embarrassments to the SEC in baseball. We've been to Omaha 3 straight years and won the national title last year. I think we can have one down year, you stupid fucking cunt. Anyway, he did put out
Hard C.
He did put out he's never been to anywhere. He just Google image searched all these places and he put out
I'm looking at it.
the most scenic venues in college football. And now a lot of this isn't bad. I don't think there's anything because he's got the Rose Bowl #2. He's got BYU #1. BYU is beautiful stadium. Washington, and with that open end into the, it's beautiful. But he has some that he just Google image searches and he just doesn't know what he's talking about. He's got Tennessee at 4, and that, my friends, is the dumbest thing I've ever. You can't see out of Tennessee Stadium. You can't see out of Tennessee. When you're in Tennessee Stadium, that's the only thing you can see. It is straight up. Even where it is on campus, it's like hidden down in a hole. You can't really get to it very easily. There's nothing scenic about Tennessee's stadium.
No, so I'm looking at the list right now, and I've already seen it, but I wanted to revisit it. And I guess my question would be, is he talking about scenic outside of the stadium?
I think he's
That's what I'm
talking
assuming.
about scenery outside the stadium because he's got App State, which is in the Blue Ridge Mountains, and it's beautiful. Every other stadium is scenic outside, and then he has Tennessee there, even though you can't see outside Tennessee Stadium.
You literally can't see shit.
And then he's got Georgia Tech at 7, which Georgia Tech's in a shit part of Atlanta. You can see a couple tall buildings, but trust me, it ain't all that good. He has Army.
I'll be honest, UTEP. I mean, I understand it's like.
He has Army #8 though, and Army I think is underrated. I actually credit him for this one. I haven't been up there yet, but it's right by the banks of the Hudson River.
It's right on it.
It's right on the river.
Because if you go on Amtrak, you go right across.
I went to high school on the Hudson River.
Really?
Yep.
Well, you're not on this list.
Yeah, but it was great view.
I bet it was.
I mean, the thing is, it sucks because like the picture that he put up of Tennessee is an amazing photo, but you can't see that from inside the stadium.
It's an aerial shot.
The thing about Big Game Boomer is you don't know what's a joke and what's real.
Yeah.
So is he trolling us? I mean, I guess that's the way to do it.
All right, before I get to my full of shit list, I now have my 6 takes I want to lock in for the season. I'll have more later, but these are 6 takes that stand out. I want to lock them in. Y'all can react to them however you're going to react to them.
How hot are they?
They're warm.
They're warm.
I'd say 1 and 3 are smoking hot.
Okay.
And then there's different degrees. Those are the 2 hottest.
So the smoke, like Margot Robbie smoking hot?
Number 1 is Margot Robbie. Number 3 is prime Megan Fox.
So she is hot.
I said prime Megan Fox.
So you've never admitted she was hot ever. You've always said she's ugly.
No, I said that this guy is young and rich. He's dating a 40-year-old woman. Prime Megan Fox is a different story.
That is facts.
Yeah.
That is facts. What's he doing?
You guys see that Machine Gun Kelly has a new movie coming
By
out?
the way, did you see his interview with Caleb?
Of course I fucking did.
You didn't see her comment?
Is he an idiot?
No, he was in on it.
He was in on it. I actually thought he was.
I think he was I think he's just a dullard.
No. I thought he was.
If you
I was
talk to
watching
Glennie about it, talk to Glennie about it because
First of all, I'm not talking to Glennie about that or anything ever.
I thought I actually came away from that having a lot more respect for Machine Gun Kelly as like a normal guy. Like I thought he was laughing at stuff. He was in on the joke with Glenny Balls, the barista. I actually was like, oh, this guy's pretty cool. He can do the whole like I drink blood thing, but then also kind of be like in on a joke. So that's I actually came away thinking Machine Gun Kelly, cool guy. Not that I didn't think he wasn't before, but more of a cool guy.
Welcome, Jack. I will say that the day that dropped, I had my phone in the other room and I went back and I had so many text messages. I thought somebody had died, but it was just people wanting me to see that the interview was out. I got to say, Glenny looks fantastic with pink hair. I wish he would continue that.
Yeah, and he even looked good with the first layer, the blonde hair.
Yeah.
All right, are you guys ready?
I'm so ready.
Yep.
Margot Robbie hot, go.
The Texas Longhorns will get destroyed by Alabama in week 2. It will be their last loss of the season.
I also think they don't get destroyed week 2. I just want
They're going to get killed.
I just went up your take.
You did, and you didn't even pay any homage to the take at all.
Well, I said that take earlier today in the Gambling Cave, not saying that you heard it. I'm just saying that we're on the same page there, so it's not that hot to me.
They're going to start 1-0 by beating ULM. Alabama's going to come in, and I think they're going to kill them.
According to the FBI, that is the best game of the season.
And then they're going to play. They're going to beat UTSA. Then they'll win at Texas Tech. Then they'll beat West Virginia at home. Then they'll win the neutral site game against Oklahoma. Then they'll beat Iowa State at home. They got to go to Oklahoma State, which isn't great, and at Kansas State. And then they have TCU at Kansas, which they'll kill them to get revenge. And they have Baylor at home.
Will they make the playoff?
If they were to do what I just said, they would.
All right, and then they'll win the Big 12.
If they were to do what you just said, then they would win the Big 12. So of course they would.
If they were to do what I just said, they would in fact make the playoff. Now, chances are they're not going to do it, but I think it's very possible. Alabama comes in there, beats them 38-17, and everybody has the mocks Texas is back, and everybody jokes, and slowly but surely you look up, they're 3-1, they're 4-1, they're 5-1. Oh shit, they just beat Oklahoma, they're 6-1. That's going to happen.
How badly do you think Alabama beats them? Like it's over by halftime?
No, I think they'll beat them in the second half. I think they'll beat them 2 touchdowns, maybe 3 touchdowns. There will be moments where Quinn Ewers makes a throw. You're like, okay, we got something here. But ultimately, Bryce Young's, they're not going to be stopped. So,
Hudson Card.
Honestly, Brandon, I don't think that's like. I mean, yes, it's a hot take. I don't think it's Margot Robbie hot.
Okay, well, maybe there's not a Margot Robbie hot take here.
That's okay. I just was gauging the hot scale.
Kayce, you know what I love in this life.
Me.
You know what else I love in this life?
Food.
Your wife.
You know a third thing I love in this life?
High noon.
How long is this going to last? You know a fourth thing I love in this life?
HelloFresh.
Delicious food. Delicious food is exactly what I love. And HelloFresh is the best meal service kit in America because right now, I don't know if you're like me, but when you get in your car and you go somewhere, it's expensive as hell. Whether it's going to a restaurant and their prices are jacked up, or it's going to a grocery store and their prices are jacked up, or if it's getting gas to go to either place and those prices are jacked up, it stinks going anywhere. So why not have the food come to you? Why not have the convenience come to you? Why not have the deliciousness come to you? HelloFresh arrives in a box at your house with fresh, pre-made ingredients. They're organized into recipes. They have recipe cards in 30 minutes or less. You cook it. It's delicious. What's better than that?
I'll tell you what's better than that. You can pick those meals too, Brandon. You can customize them to your liking.
Every week they have a different massive selection of foods. You can also swap out proteins and veggies. You can really do anything you want to with what they've got available. They can customize it to really be anything you want. So any delicious food you want, they've got it, I promise you.
They do, and serving sizes, depending on how many people you have. You know, the Walker family has a ton of kids. You got to get more serving sizes. If you're a person that lives by yourself, you can also have dinner and lunch with one meal. It's great. Also, this is key because I've had a lot of people ask me about this, about skipping weeks. They're like, well, some weekends I'm on vacation or some weeks I'm not there. Like, well, I don't want to cook. You can skip weeks easily. So you're not going to get charged every week. So if you're just like, hey, like me, I've been with the Rutledges in Connecticut for a while. I'm skipping my weekly meals. I will be getting back on HelloFresh next week.
And I think they have an app that is very easy to start and stop those things. So it's very easy. It's very fun to pick out your meals for the next week. Trust me, it's fantastic. Go to HelloFresh.com and use the code
Walker 16.
And I bet that gives you 16 free meals.
But 16 times 2, Brandon, because it's 2 servings, which is
34.
Oh, no.
32.
Close enough. And
So go to HelloFresh.com/Walker16. Use the code Walker16, and you get up to 16 free meals, which again is 2 servings.
and
so,
I believe
Brandon,
a couple of free gifts as well.
Oh yeah,
3.
I forgot about the
up
gifts.
to 3 free gifts.
There's gifts.
We like free.
So again,
We like free.
one more time. HelloFresh.com/Walker16.
Walker 16.
Number 2, Oklahoma fans have a severe reality check coming.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time in a while, they are not the swinging dick in the Big 12, even though they didn't win it last year, so they weren't last year, but they spent most of the season thinking they were. This year, Dylan Gabriel is a far sight below the quarterbacks they've had over the last 7 or 8 years. Their defense is not going to be great. They've been gutted with transfers. They are going to be a good team, but a normally good team and not a borderline elite team. And I'm not sure they're going to be able to handle it. I hope they give Brent Venables time and room to change the program in the mold that he needs to change it. But I think Oklahoma is, for the first time in a decade, facing a season that isn't going to be very good by their standards.
Well, and on top of that too, like, you mentioned Venables, like they're not only are they going to have a super microscope on him, they're going to be looking at in LA too.
Yeah.
So it depends on I know USC, obviously, I don't think they're going to come right out of the gates and be a great team right off the bat. Maybe, I don't know. But Oklahoma fans are going to have a really short leash as it is, not competing in the Big 12 the way they're used to, and watching what Lincoln Riley is doing in the West.
Take 3. I have hinted at this take before, but I'm ready to embrace it and dive all in on it and start a war with their fan base because of it. The Florida Gators made a magnificent fuck-up of this offseason, a magnificent mistake. The Florida Gators fired one of the top 20 coaches in this country because they were tired of him getting his butt kicked in recruiting by Kirby Smart. Well, guess what? Everybody gets their butt kicked in recruiting by Kirby Smart. You fired a guy that took you to the SEC title game. You fired a guy that had Heisman candidates. You fired Dan Mullen because he had one bad season, and you went out and hired a huge question mark. You hired UL Lafayette's coach. Maybe he works out, maybe he doesn't. I think there's a 50-50 proposition there. The coach coming from that level to the SEC works out, if it's even 50-50. You decided to throw down all your chips on 50-50 when you had 90-10 in your pocket. It's the dumbest firing/hiring in the SEC in years, and Florida is now the University of Tennessee. Florida is now desperately clinging on to this idea that they're a national title program. They're clinging on this idea that they're one coach away from winning a national title every year, and they're cutting off their nose to spite their face. They fired a guy that could have done it for them, and they hired a question mark. You know why they're Tennessee? Look at how many times over the last decade has a coach lasted more than 3 years at Florida. Hasn't happened. You're talking about Will Muschamp and McElwain and Mullen. Now you got Napier. You can't sustain a program like that. You know who else does that? Those idiot redneck hillbillies at Tennessee, where they go from Lane Kiffin to Derek Dooley to Butch Jones to on and on and on. They can't find it. They just they're running off coaches. Their fan base is making the decisions, just like you made the decision to fire Dan Mullen, Florida fan base. You fucked up. And now you're Tennessee. Welcome to Rocky Top, Gators.
Okay.
I don't know if I've ever
That was a
heard
good take.
That was
it was a good take. It was a fired up take. I don't know if I've ever heard you
That was
call Tennessee
clean.
fans rednecks before.
that was clean.
I meant to say hillbillies.
We don't have to put the hill with that part in.
We can put all that.
Okay.
in.
No, I
Okay.
want to put it. Got it.
the,
You have to piss. I agree with you though, Brandon. If you're gonna fire Dan Mullen, you got to go out and get a better. No disrespect to Billy Napier, but you've got to have a better name than that. If like the grass isn't always greener, especially if you're going to get somebody outside
when
of the Power
Tennessee fired Butch Jones, that was what, 2016?
Yeah, maybe.
2017?
And they hadn't won a
17.
national championship in
20
20 years. Okay, so it's not as close to as far. But last time Florida won, 2008?
2008, yeah.
So it's
14
been 14 years. They're
Yeah.
getting to Tennessee territory.
They're Tennessee. They still they're one generation removed from winning a title.
Yeah.
And they're one generation removed from winning multiple titles, and they're chasing that feeling, and they're chasing it so far, so hard, it makes them make irrational decisions, and they keep going to the next guy. Oh, he can't do it. Next guy. He can't do it. Next guy. He can't do it. Next guy. Well, sometimes you got to fucking wait and see if the guy you got is the guy that can do it. And Mullen was the guy that could have done it, and you fired him like idiots.
I completely agree with that. Although he did start to piss them off in 2020 too. 2020 also, not 2020.
Yeah, it's fine.
Like he started to piss them off in the middle of that season. He said a bunch of dumb shit. He cried in press conferences. So it's not like it was out of nowhere.
All right.
Take Darth Vader.
Yeah, take 4. If Clemson doesn't bounce back immediately and become a playoff contender this year, they might be in real trouble. This is a team that fell off offensively last year. Defensively, they were still good, but now they're replacing both coordinators. Elliott is a head coach, and Venables a head coach. Dabo's going to have to do it on his own. And in a world of college football where having coordinator continuity is very underrated, Clemson was one of the best over the last few years. You always knew Venables was there. You always knew they had a rock on defense. Now that rock's gone. They go 9-3 this year. Clemson, as a top-level elite program, might be finished.
Finished? What's the definition of finished?
Might not be able to get to top-level elite program again.
Finished as in losing season finished?
No. They might be done as a national title contender.
So their dynasty is done.
The dynasty would be over if they don't bounce back immediately this year. If they go 9-3 or 8-4 again, it's over. It's finished.
Do you think Dabo will move on?
I don't know that.
I think Dabo's looking at one thing and one thing only. It's when Nick leaves. And then if I assume Nick, that will be an interesting power struggle once Nick leaves. Will Nick be able to pick his successor, or will Alabama say, no, we are doing what we want to do? And
no, I think Nick Saban will have a whole bunch of say in that, right?
I don't know. Who knows? Nick Saban may want to. Bill Snyder didn't get to pick his.
Here's the thing about Saban. He doesn't really have a guy that's been his right-hand man forever or anything. He doesn't really have somebody that is just right there waiting to take over the program.
I agree with you.
He doesn't have a son like Bill Snyder.
Yep.
So I don't know that Saban I don't know that Saban is going to give a fuck. I think when Saban decides he's going to step away, he steps fully away, and Alabama, it's your problem.
Right. And I think the biggest thing there is he doesn't have a son.
But is there somebody that Saban wouldn't want to have the job? Maybe there's not somebody that he wants to push, but is there somebody he wouldn't want to succeed?
Probably won't want Lane Kiffin to have the job, but why would Lane?
I think he likes Lane. I don't think he'd want Kirby to have the job, although Kirby's got his own Alabama.
I think that it's more about who he wouldn't want there versus who he would want to push for it.
Yeah, that's a look into the future.
He might cock block somebody, but he wouldn't guide the cock.
Dabo's recruiting class this season went was ranked 10th in 24/7 in the 2023 rankings.
I'm just going to skip over the fact that she just said he won't guide the cock.
I mean, pause.
Is that what we're saying now?
It's a good analogy.
Wow, Clemson right now ranks, but also they're right behind Alabama, 28th.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
In 2020, it's too early.
Also, with Clemson, they hired in-house for their coordinators, so you're not gonna. There's no new minds coming into the program. It's gonna be the same stuff that's been there since day one.
I have a take number 5. I have a team who went 10-2 or 11-2 last year. Quiet 11-2, ended up finishing ranked number 14 or 15. But they might determine the seasons of 4 other hopeful contenders this year. The BYU Cougars might be one of the most important teams in the country this season. In addition to playing Boise State, in addition to playing some teams they usually play, they also play the Baylor Bears, the Oregon Ducks, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Wait, and
who?
Utah.
Of course, yeah. In addition to who they always play.
Oh, sorry. You said Boise State.
I said in addition to who they usually play, like a Boise State, and Utah was.
But Utah's like a national championship contender in a lot of people's
Correct.
books.
Yeah, but they.
Yeah, no,
I think everybody knows BYU's going to play Utah.
It's a holy war. First game of the season, I think.
Anyway, BYU on a week-in, week-out basis is going to be in maybe the most important non-conference game of the week. BYU's not a bad team. They got Jaron Hall coming back, good quarterback. They won 11 games last year, and
some good wins too.
I think Gunner's back.
And Baylor, by the way.
Romney?
I think so.
Baylor, like Baylor is a team that has aspirations. Notre Dame has aspirations. Oregon has aspirations, and Arkansas has aspirations. Like they're going to be in gigantic games to determine.
Where's the Arkansas game?
That's what I'm about to say. Like one of those is not like the other.
That would be an interesting fan base come together.
Like like Baylor, we said, however many months ago that was, we all said that Baylor's like the top of the Big 12. We know that. We know that Oregon has a chance. Arkansas, I would not put in those categories.
I think Arkansas plans to be a contender. Obviously,
yes, but I don't think they will be.
But they're behind Alabama. They're behind A&M. But I think
It's at BYU.
they could be a 10-win team if everything goes right. I don't think they will be. I think they take a step back, and we're going to beat their fucking ass in Starkville. So, my last take.
Man, Sam Pittman at elevation ain't going to go well.
Oh, God. You imagine we
boy.
got to make sure security's on him. If he starts rolling downhill,
Damn.
he'll wipe out cities.
And it's there's a lot of mountains up there.
You know what I want? I want you to start emailing Arkansas's SID department or SID and see if you can get an interview with Sam Pittman.
All right. I'll do it.
Just keep doing it.
He blocked me on Twitter, so he probably won't do it.
Did he block unnecessary roughness too?
Yeah, I think so. I'll check right now, though.
What a big fat pussy. Anybody who blocks people on
What's
Twitter.
his Twitter handle?
Coach Fat Pittman.
Oh my God.
That is true. People
Coach.
forget.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not Coach Fat. It's Coach Sam Fatman.
Coach Sam Pittman.
Last take.
He has not blocked me.
We've kind of danced around it, but I think Oregon has aspirations this year. You don't know how good they'll be. They got Bo Nix. They got a new coach. So we'll see. USC has Caleb Williams, new coach, and all that. A lot of excitement in the Pac-12 for the first time in a while.
Since when have you been high on Bo Nix?
He wasn't.
But you're like,
He hasn't finished his take yet.
I just said they had a new quarterback.
He hasn't finished
Bo
his take yet, Katie.
Also, before he got hurt last year, Bo Nix was pretty good. If Bo Nix didn't get hurt, he would have beat Alabama. Anyway.
Inconsistent player.
Oregon has hope. They have a new coach and a new quarterback, Bo Nix. USC, Caleb Williams, USC, Lincoln Riley, a lot of hope. The take is, no matter how much hope they got, Utah will be the Pac-12 champion this year. Utah is the contender out of the Pac-12 this year. Cam Rising is great. That defense is great. It's a program that's good every year. They were an inch away from beating Ohio State in a bowl game, and Ohio State was really good. Utah is the West Coast national title contending team this year.
Can I also put my take on record?
Yes.
USC is the Pac-12 champion this year.
No. I disagree vehemently.
It's our take, though.
Well, that's fine. It's my take, but I think that we're very, very much overlooking the fact that it's not just a new quarterback and a new coach. It's a new quarterback and a new coach that have worked together already. They don't have to get to know each other. Caleb Williams has played for Lincoln Riley, so it's not like it's a new quarterback and a new coach that have to jive together. They hit the ground running.
Can they defend, though, is the big question. Like, their defense was
Definitely.
awful
And I'm not, I mean, it's a hot take. There's no doubt about it, but I don't think that we can just say like, oh, it's the same thing as Oregon, because Bo Nix is the new quarterback, but he hasn't played with the new coach yet.
Bo Nix is listed second on the depth chart right now behind Ty Thompson, I think his name is, the 4 or 5/5-star quarterback at Oregon. We'll see. That's obviously a competition that will go on into the summer and then into the fall, but that may be, we may not even see Bo Nix. Imagine Bo Nix going all the way to Oregon and being the backup. That would be just embarrassing.
I just don't think Bo Nix transferred to play for Dan Lanning and without some sort of assurance that
that is true, especially with his father.
Who did they get for their DC for Oregon?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question.
I would assume probably like defensive back coach that he worked with at Georgia or something.
But mark it down, Jack.
DB
I want
the
this
defensive coordinator at Miami now. Sorry.
4/20/2022.
No. Oh yeah.
Brandon and I made our predictions on the Pac-12.
Should I do the full shit list or save it for next week?
Save it.
I'll save it. Good. We got enough here. Spoiler: full of shit list is next week. So.
Can I have my full of shit list too?
Yeah.
Everybody can do their full of shit list.
Full of shit list.
And
Sponsored
I think
by
I'm finally ready
Dudes
to come home from Connecticut.
You coming?
I'm gonna be in studio for the full of shit list.
Good.
Thank God. We miss you.
Just relax.
I miss you guys too, but the Rutledges are finally kicking me out.
The Jags D lineman coach.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought they just said, "Hey, you're playing defensive line for the Jaguars. Why don't you just come and take a much more stable job as the defensive coordinator for Oregon?"
All right, so that's a good place to end. Then that's some good college football talk.
I'm trying to think if there was anything.
Brandon.
Yes, hi.
Najee Hall transferred to Texas. People got mad at me because I tweeted he's reuniting with Sark. Sark was his top recruiter when he went to Alabama. Everyone's like, "Oh, he didn't play under Sark."
Why did Ben Mintz get mad?
Mintz got mad?
Yeah.
That's not how he sounds.
Pretty close.
A lot of drama in SEC baseball, which is always great. I know a lot of people listening, also big SEC baseball fans. Really tough for Ole Miss. Number one.
I can't talk shit right now.
Why?
We play them this week. I don't want to talk shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
good
you guys
point,
won the
good
Natty
point.
last year. Like,
Right. Well, we're
Yeah,
much
but
better
you
than
don't
them.
wanna-
I don't want to buy.
kind of down year for SEC baseball as a whole, right?
It's not great.
But the top is pretty good, right?
Tennessee's great. Arkansas is great. Vanderbilt's still pretty good. So it'll probably be
Vanderbilt tied their spring game, which is very funny.
It'll be 3 or 4 in Omaha from the SEC.
Of course, Vanderbilt would tie their spring game.
Did you guys see how UCF for their spring game to do kind of
QR
like
codes?
Yeah, thoughts on that?
It just feels
Did you
like
see my tweets?
It feels like something
Yeah.
to do in like 2015.
I think QR codes are. It's just like they're doing something to do something, and I get it. It's for the spring game. A lot of people got people talking. Good,
Yeah.
they did. Last year they did something else. I think they just put their ats on the back. So
Yeah.
like it's innovative in that.
You can't scan a QR code when it's running full speed down a field.
Exactly, and I want to see the number, and I'm like, it would never work in real because I want to see the number, and then I can type it into Google. You know?
Can I also say something about UCF?
Yeah.
Like I tweeted about because you tweeted about their rings that they got, and then I tweeted they keep getting lamer and lamer. I wasn't talking about rings. I was talking about the fact that they said they're the champions of Florida.
Oh
That's
yeah.
fucking lame. That is lame.
Yeah. People. The only thing is they do that. Like states do that.
That's lame though.
I
Like,
know.
you're
I'm not.
champions
I'm
of
with
Florida.
you. I'm with you.
Like, I was
and they
not-
won the
you know,
Gasparilla Bowl. Like, shut up.
People coming out, like, oh, A&M. First of all, every school gets rings for winning bowl games. That's just what it is. And then we have the whole Aggie ring thing, whatever. I don't care. I'm taking that off the table. If you claim that you are the champion of a state and you don't play all of those teams, you're not the fucking champion of the state.
Fair.
Yeah, I think so far the worst rings to exist have been from UNC. I think last year we lost the bowl game.
All
and
right.
Put out rings.
My name is Brandon Walker. That's Kayce Smith. That's college football. Everybody good?
Yep.
Yep.
That is unnecessary roughness.